Alright, so finally I am bringing you my first ever AEW Dynamite review. So the first bit of action that I saw was Powerhouse Hobbs coming out and absolutely squashing some bum that had a record of 0-1. So this guy apparently is meant to be just an absolute powerhouse, and he's having these squash matches, I assume, to build his legacy as an absolute train wreck. He's very built, like he is huge. And he's reminded me of Ryback, because back in the day, Ryback was just squashing jobbers week in, week out, and I'm pretty sure that's what's going on with Hobbs. But then his rival, Ricky Starks, comes out and just starts unleashing some punches on Hobbs, but then Hobbs ends up scooping him up, planting him with a lethal spinebuster, and Hobbs remains on top. So that's the first rivalry I've got a glimpse of. Ricky Starks versus Powerhouse Hobbs, okay? I didn't even know who Ricky Starks was until a video recently where you guys told me who Ricky Starks was. Apparently he's very good, but from my first impression, he got slammed to the ground. Which is fair enough, because Hobbs is massive. So when them two clash, I'll be very interested to see how that goes down. Because on paper, Hobbs should body this man. But I don't know. Maybe Ricky Starks is the better technical wrestler, and he'll get the better of Hobbs. And then we saw a promo package sort of thing from Miro, who was Rusev in WWE, so I'm very familiar with him. It was exciting just to see him back in action, because I haven't seen that in so long. And it looks like he's actually in a rivalry with another former WWE superstar, Aleister Black. And I think his name is Malaki? Malaki? Something like that, but I haven't even heard the name being said yet, so I'm just judging it off how I remember it's spelled. I think it's Malaki. Malaki. Up next, Matt Hardy and Christian absolutely ripped each other apart in a match. And again, two ex-WWE guys, two legends actually of WWE, and they're both pretty old now, but they still put on a good show. There were some very nice spots in that match, including Matt Hardy just hitting an elbow drop through a table on the outside, but Christian rolled out of the way, so Matt Hardy just wrecked himself, came crashing down. So it was still a very awesome match, and them two can still go. I don't know how old they are, but you know, they're not getting any younger, you know? But it's still nice to see that they can wrestle at a high standard. Although saying that, I remember Matt Hardy did look a bit slow in the ring, just with his general movement. But Christian hit the kill switch to get the win on Matt Hardy, and that wrapped up a very, very interesting match in my opinion. So, and just seeing Christian wrestle as well is insane, because when he retired I thought that was it, and that was years ago as well. But AEW brought back that spark, that fire that was inside of Christian, and he's unleashed it on Matt Hardy's balls. That was so uncalled for. So Christian, being the heel that he is, goes for a con chair, that sort of chair headshot on Matt Hardy. He was going to put his lights out for good apparently. And then, who came out? You see, I've wrote down all the things I need. So Luchasaurus came out to help, that's right, because Christian's in a rivalry with Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are like this, they're tag team partners, like best friends, whatever. But then, Jungle Boy came out off the distraction of Luchasaurus anyway. Came out in a hoodie, tried to attack Christian on the sneak attack, but then Christian, what did Christian do? Christian just avoided it and ran away through the crowd, that's right. And then also I noted this, the crowd are like very, very interactive with Jungle Boy's theme song. I remember seeing the camera just pan up through the crowd and everyone's just waving their arms, all singing along. So Jungle Boy seems like a pretty loved a pretty loved wrestler. Then we got a backstage promo from Daniel Garcia. This was the first time I've really seen him on the mic, and he seemed pretty hyped. Also kind of seemed a bit, I don't know, he was just very, well, we'll just say hyped. Yeah, he was into it, he was feeling himself, and he was cutting it on Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson, that's right. So maybe they've got a rivalry going on as well. Didn't get much info on that other than that wee backstage promo from him. But he seems very, excited.
I submitted the American Dragon. I am the Dragon Slayer.
Then we got a segment inside the ring from Ethan Page, and Ethan Page was giving me some serious MJF vibes. He was absolutely going off on the mic, shouting at all the fans, just begging for attention, you know, shouting like why he was pretty much just demanding attention, demanding that he gets pushed as a wrestler, saying that he's not getting what he deserves. And then some other dude comes out and is just standing around in the ring, and then he ends up giving him a business card. So I don't know what the deal is there. I don't know anything about these two or what business they might have going down, but Ethan Page is very upset and he was going off on the fans. So that's why it reminded me of MJF, especially with that recent pipe bomb from MJF. Wasn't as intense, of course, but it gave me a similar feel. So I don't know if Ethan Page is... Like, do you guys like Ethan Page? Do you agree with him? I don't know. Because I don't know anything about the guy, you know? Did I just ring the police? I nearly rung the police.
Why the hell is Ethan Page not on TV every single week?
And then we had a segment backstage between people that I forgot. You see, I just wrote down here some guy talking about what makes his nipples hard backstage. Because that's all I really picked up from that.
But you want to know what makes Daddy Magic's nipples hard, Pony?
Then we have Anna Jay getting on the mic and saying that she's the best, she's this, she's that. Which, when I was watching it, it was a little bit cringe. It's just because, like, the acting was a bit ski-whiff, you know? She just seemed a bit, I don't know.
That's right, the newest member of JAS. Anna JAS.
But then she ended up actually going and choking some random bloke out on the floor to make a statement, I guess. So she seemed very much off her nut, a bit like Daniel Garcia. And then we had a tag team dumpster match, which is something I've personally never seen in WWE, so this was a nice surprise. The goal of the match is to get the opponents into the dumpster. That's how it ends, and it's tag team as well, so you gotta get... Nearly dropped my phone, okay. You gotta get 2 people into the dumpster, and this was the Acclaimed versus... I don't even write it down, but the Gun Club. Now, this was very, very interesting indeed. So the Acclaimed came out, and Max Caster got on the mic, ready to drop some disses, and this was so exciting to see firsthand, because you may know this, but I've watched a compilation of Max Caster before, and the disses back then were not as good as what you guys were saying that he's like now, and I witnessed him dropping some good disses live. So I can't remember what the diss was exactly, but he said something relating to Mr. McMahon's retirement, and when that happened, my jaw dropped, the crowd just erupted, it was crazy.
No filter, I ain't Instagram, we make the ass boys retire like Vince McMahon.
And then he also said something about Joe Biden having COVID as well, which also got a bit of a reaction from me and the crowd. So yeah, Max Caster definitely is enjoyable to watch. Not even just wrestling, like on the mic, you gotta be prepared.
We'll beat you down and you know the rest. I'm more positive than Joe Biden's COVID test.
So Max throws a dude off the stage into a dumpster and then hits an elbow drop through the table on the other guy. And then they also get him in the dumpster, and it's pretty much a wrap from there. It was a good match, and then that ending where Max did throw someone off the stage and then elbow dropped onto the other guy was insane. So a very, very enjoyable match right there. And then it didn't even end there, because after the match, the Acclaimed went and pushed the dumpster off the edge of the stage, and then the landing of that was nasty, because I saw someone's arm or whatever like kind of fall out as the dumpster crash landed. So it looked quite sore, quite dangerous as well. So then we had the main event of the evening. It was Chris Jericho versus Wheeler Yuta, and if Yuta wins, he fights Jon Moxley for the interim world title. Now, I don't know what that title exactly means. I'm pretty sure Jon Moxley has it because CM Punk is injured. But it says on the website, CM Punk is still the AEW World Champion. Jon Moxley is the AEW Interim World Champion. So is that just like a placeholder sort of thing? What even happens when CM Punk comes back? Does Jon Moxley just get that title taken off him? Does CM Punk have to fight for the title again? I don't know. But then Cesaro, of all people, comes out. And yes, I can't even say Cesaro. It's Claudio Castagnoli. Can't remember the second name, I'm sorry. Alright, so it's a little bit later now, and by that I mean 1 AM, but some things happened which meant I had to stop recording, like mid-sentence, I think. I was talking about Cesaro. But yeah, so Claudio comes out, and he... So I wrote here about the main event that Yuta is a very fast-paced wrestler. He's just very fun to watch. And Jericho is such a veteran, so... I mean, being at Jericho's age, he's a bit slower, but he can still wrestle, like he's doing moonsaults and all sorts. But that, like, sort of contrast of a veteran and a young, fast-paced wrestler coming together, it's an interesting dynamic, you know? But Jericho locked in the Lion Tamer, and Wheeler Yuta tapped out, and that's how the match came to an end. There were quite a few near falls and moments where I'm like, oh, is this going to end this way? No, not quite. And it went on until Wheeler Yuta got put in that Lion Salt, but Lion Tamer, which is like just an extended amount of pressure from the original Walls of Jericho. It's higher up, it's, yeah, nastier. And here's where things get even more interesting, because Jericho kept it locked in after the match. Very heel thing to do. But Jon Moxley comes out to try and attack Jericho. Obviously Jericho is Moxley's opponent for the interim world championship very, very soon. So Moxley tried it, but Jericho ended up rolling away and escaping. And then Jericho got on the mic as well. Let's see. Oh yeah, so he pretty much went on to say about how Jon Moxley will get the best version of Chris Jericho when they do clash.
But I'm gonna stretch the shit out of you.
And that's all I've wrote. That was the show. That is my first Dynamite review. And it was just such a nice breath of fresh air, because it was a very different feel to WWE. So I'm going to try and do this weekly, and I'm going to try and fit Rampage reviews in there as well. I don't know how well that will go. Like, my word does not mean much when it comes to planning YouTube videos, especially from, you know, next week onwards. Like, things could be so different by then. I could be doing other things. It might not happen, but I want to do reviews at least every so often. So hopefully you've enjoyed this one.